Man, I love that sound. Riding season is upon us, everybody. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Brett, and this is the Chopper Fett channel here on YouTube. Here in Kansas, the riding season has just began to the point where it's going to be warm enough to ride on most days. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, is it windier than all get up at the beginning of our riding season. So for Kansas, the average wind up until I believe the middle part of May is usually, again, this is the average, is usually around 17 to 20 degrees on every single day. I know that's not a ton of wind. I mean, 15 to 20, I'm comfortable riding in it, but I really do like those days of 5 to 10 because, as you can see, I ride bikes that don't offer much in the way of protection from the wind. And so with it being the beginning of riding season, though, we have to kind of do our P's and Q's on the motorcycle. So some of the things that I like to do are the subject of today's video. So the first thing I like to do, the tires go super fast. Just kidding. The first thing I like to do before we really get the bikes out for a lot of miles is to go ahead and change all of the oil. Now, I'm not saying necessarily to do a 3-hole change every single time, but I do like to at least put fresh oil in the motor. And there are a lot of times now, especially now that we have the 3 motorcycles, where we won't put nearly as many miles on one particular bike. This season, I could foreseeably only put maybe 2,500 to 3,000 miles on the Dyna, or 1,500 miles on this. But whenever the start of the riding season will come around, I like to go ahead and put fresh oil into the engine. I'm sure I'm wasting some money. You can go ahead and comment below if that's the case. I just think it's kind of a maintenance thing that can't hurt. And to do an oil change is only going to cost me maybe 50 bucks per bike for synthetic with the filter. For me, it's just a no-brainer. It takes me all of about an hour, if that, to do a bike. Just kind of depends on how long it takes to drain out and how ADD I end up being that day.
Made me this color so that I may talk. Squirrel!
But that's the first thing I like to do, is change the fluids in the bike. The next thing you would want to check before you get into riding season is your tires. Now, when I did pick up this V-Rod, it did have tires that did have tread on them. So why did I go ahead and spend the money to have them replaced? Well, for one, it was the deal with my dad was I had to get new rubber. The tires that were put on here were original to the bike, so that is saying something about the Michelin Scorcher 2s, that they do have the ability to last. You know, we went ahead and we paid Harley to do it. The service guy was able to kind of cut me a little deal, not much of one because you still kind of overpaid for the tire, but you got cheaper service. So there's a lot of different kind of other little different things about it. So the guy at the Harley dealership, the service manager there, he was able to, one, get me in quick, and two, he had the tires in stock. So I went ahead and just dropped the money, got them installed. Now, if you have tread, you're probably good to go, but these things were hard as a rock. So I just thought, yeah, it's a good time just to go ahead and get fresh rubber, make it like a whole new bike for me when I took over ownership. Alright, the third thing I like to do is go ahead and tighten, oh my.
Squirrel!
Yep, so there's a truck in the ditch there because of the wind here today. So I ain't lying, it's windy as all get out. Third thing I like to do is anything that has a nut and bolt that I know that might have been touched in the past, I like to go ahead and give it a couple of oogas just to make sure that we are still tight. For example, on my Dyna, I know I need to go back and probably re-Loctite and put some stuff on that one. because my air filter kind of spins in place and it's not supposed to do that probably. I do know for a fact when I was riding the other day, I realized I never, when I put this setup back on again, I never actually ever put Loctite on the screws. So that's my own mistake, but you do want to make sure everything is tightened up and ready to go. Now the last thing I like to do, now this is definitely not necessarily anything you have to do to keep your bike running, but I like to give my bike a really good bath before the riding season begins. Because I know once I start riding, I'm not going to want to waste a day just cleaning the bike. I'm going to want to actually take the motorcycle out and ride. Alright. And I know I won't get to it, so before the season gets really into it, I like to get it all polished up. And now that there's 3 motorcycles, even more work on that front. So what are some tips that you guys like to do as you start riding season? What are the kind of maintenance tips or just getting yourself psyched up for the season that you guys like to try and do? I'm going to go and cut it here. My name is Brett. Again, this is the Chopper Fit channel, and I'll catch you on the next dark side as this is the way. Chopper Fit out. See ya.